So what's up everyone, welcome to another video. Now I recently replaced my full Ultegra drive chain and I thought it's a good opportunity to try a new lube. Now I've seen this Squirt chain lube online quite a lot and it's got good reviews. Apparently your chain will not get dirty. Big claims right there. So what I'm going to do is apply this to my brand new chain, show you guys and girls how to do that. And what I'm going to do over the next week or the next month is record the chain after my rides and then we can see just how good this is working. So for those of you who have not seen this Squirt chain lube before, this is a wax-based lubricant. So it's very different to the traditional lube. Sounds funny saying that. So that's what to expect from this video. Let's get started by getting this applied. So step number one is to take the chain off. Now this is a brand new chain. Now brand new chains come lubricated already, and with this Squirt lube, you need the chain to be completely stripped of any lubricant. So I'm going to get this off, then I'm going to clean it multiple times to make sure there's nothing on it whatsoever before I apply the Squirt lube. Chain removed, I can feel it's pretty tacky, so let's get this cleaned and stripped. I'm using Fenwick's degreaser, really good product. Okay, so after one round of cleaning, I can still feel that that's a little bit tacky. There's still grease on there, so let's go again. After a few cleans, I can still feel that it's a little bit tacky. So what I'm going to do is soak it in neat degreaser for about half an hour or so and just let that work its way in.
A little later.
That is feeling good. I'm going to give it a rinse with some clean water and then we are good to go. Right, so now it's time to apply the Squirt to the chain. Now I've seen this done a couple of ways and I was watching Katie Kookaburra's video, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She said you need to do 2 coats. So you do 1 coat, you just want to get it on the rollers in the middle of the chain, in the center. You don't want to get it on the outside and waste it. So I'm going to do 1 coat, let it dry for 2 hours or so, and then I'm going to do another coat later, and then I'm going to leave it overnight for it to properly set. So that is everything done. We've got a good coat on all of the rollers. There is a bit of excess around here and on the chain ring, so I'm just going to wipe that off with a clean cloth. We're looking good, peeps. Let's let that dry for 2 hours and then I'll get the second coat on. Right, so the first coat has dried and it is actually like proper wax, I can see here. I'm going to put a second coat on. I'm not going to put too much on because I think I put a fair amount on the first coat. So same technique again. You can already see the wax like on the links. So I'm going to leave that overnight and then I'm going to be checking in after my rides. So let's have a look and see how this performs. So this is after one ride. I've done a 35-mile ride today. It was dry outside, maybe a couple of puddles here and there, but nothing major at all. 35 miles through London, all road riding. Now, it's looking okay to be honest. I must admit, it does look like there's sort of dirt in between each link. So let's have a look. Okay, it is not looking the best, if I'm honest. I can see that there's dirt on there, but to be honest, I didn't think it would be like that. I stripped the chain completely. Not too sure how that's happening. Let's get some in there. There we go. So you can see. So yeah, a little bit of muck on there. I'm just going to give that a wipe down and then I will do this again after another ride. Right, I have just been out on a 45-mile ride and it was a little bit wet, so there was some standing water on the road. So as you can see, that's flicked up onto the bike, so that would also flick up onto the chain. Now let's have a look how it's actually doing. It's not too bad, it's not too bad. So you can see the outside of the chain is actually really clear. So it's actually much better than what I thought on the last ride. I will be doing some more rides pretty soon, so I'll be getting some more footage and seeing what it's like. Right team, I have done 3 rides since I last saw you, and they were a 20-mile ride which was dry. I've done a 10-15 mile ride which was pretty damp actually, a few puddles, and I've done another 20-mile ride which again was just mainly dry, just winter conditions here in the UK, so like dirty roads but dry. I've just been looking at the Squirt instructions and what it says, and it says that nothing will stick to the wax, and if I run my finger along there, I mean that's not too bad, but if I use this wax and I ride all winter using this wax, I think stuff will get stuck to it. That's my, maybe that's me being skeptical. Let's have a look anyway. Clean bit of rag. I mean, to me, that stuff's sticking to it. I'm just going to wipe it actually first, and then I'm going to give it another coat. It says to give this a thorough shake, So people, is this, the Squirt chain lube, the best chain lube for your bike? That is a hard question to answer. I've just done another ride. I've done a 60-mile ride, and I've been thinking, how can I summarize my thoughts and explain what I think about this? But I can summarize it in 3 ways really. And the first one is usability. And there are a few points with usability. This is a frustrating one for me, is you have to let it dry. Now, as someone that's got into the habit of lubing their chain before they go for a ride, you have to kind of change your habits or change your ways, and you have to remember the night before to apply it. Usability, that would be a down mark from my point of view. I'd rather be able to just apply it whenever I want to apply it. You have to strip your chain completely before you can put this on. Now, you saw me do that earlier in the video. I had to go over 3 times, I think, to strip it, to get it right down. Brand new chains come lubed already, so you almost have to strip that back. And if you are swapping to this, you have to really, really work hard to get your chain clean. It's not a major, because you only have to do that once, and then in theory you're good to go, and you shouldn't have to do that again. So do it once, that's kind of a positive, rather than doing it every month or so if you use a conventional lube. What I will say is less grease sticks to your chain when you are using this Squirt lube. That is for sure. Now, I've used wet lubes and dry lubes, and I know just how much gets stuck to your chain. For example, the wet lube from Muck Off, which I have over here. I have these 2, and I've used these 2 a lot. And when you use this, the wet lube, your chain is going to look black eventually. It's going to be really dark, grease all over it, and you do have to clean it. If you look after your chain, regardless of what lube you actually use, it doesn't really matter. It's the onus should be on you to clean your chain and your drive chain and make sure it's running well. It shouldn't be down to a lube, in my opinion. So that is a thumbs up for that. I would say it definitely does stop your chain getting as dirty. Whether or not that's enough to spend £12 on one bottle when one of these is £4 or £5, that's for you to decide. That's not for me to decide. Now, point number 2, and I referenced it just then, is your situation and your application. One thing I can definitely say about bikes is it's not one rule fits all necessarily in all scenarios. So a lot of the times we're looking for an answer, is this the best chain lube to use on my gravel bike, mountain bike, road bike? Is this the best one? Actually, that might not be the right thing to be asking yourself. It might be better to ask yourself, is this one best to use on my gravel bike when I'm riding through a lot of dirt and my chain's going to stay clean? Or maybe it's good for my race bike because I want to have it on my race bike and I prefer to have a pristine, clean chain. There's no harm in having this on one bike and having this on another. Depending on your situation can depend what chain lube you use. So a big question is, will I continue using this and will I use it on my other bikes? And my answer to that is I'm not actually sure. Some of the usability things I'm maybe not the keenest on. I don't argue that it does work and it keeps your drive chain cleaner, so I may do. I don't like the £12 price tag. As you know, on this channel, I know cycling is expensive and I don't look for ways to increase the cost. So in that sense, I'm not too sure. It is a good product, I don't doubt that. Is it for everyone? I'm not too sure. Will I be using it on all my bikes in the future? Potentially. You're gonna have to subscribe if you want to see that decision. I will probably do a future video where I look at this maybe after I've used this whole bottle. So subscribe if you want to see that. Now, if you have any questions, do comment them down below and I will happily answer. I try to get back to everyone who leaves a comment. Thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, that is much appreciated. And until the next one, self-love and safe riding.